A three-pronged solution vehicle. One, very comfortable. Two, utility. You could haul things around. Number three, just getting in the vehicle. You want to go out to dinner. This thing's a looker. Well, there you have it. Oh, oh yeah, it's firm, my friends. It's firm. So I just put the car back in all-purpose mode, and it just relaxed. And now I'm going over the same train tracks. Smooth. It was calm. It was relaxed. It was like, take your shoes off, put your feet up. It's time to relax. I like this all-purpose mode. Not to say I wouldn't use the sport mode on the right road. Welcome to another Out of Spec Dave review, where today I'm going to be driving the Rivian R1T, my son's Kyle's car, and we're going to take that for a little bit of a quick journey, give you my first impressions of the car, and see how it drives. Now, last night I flew in from Connecticut to Colorado, and he picked me up in this thing, but I was way too tired to drive. But I can tell you, it felt really nice. The seats were comfortable, the ride was great. So let's take a little trip, see what my first impressions of this Rivian R1T are. What we have here is a 2022 Rivian R1T. This is my son Kyle's personal vehicle, and I'm going to drive it for the first time. I don't really know that much about it. I know that it is fast. It's 0 to 60 in a little over 3 seconds. I know it's got over 800 and some odd horsepower. Beautiful design, not too big, not too small. And I'm curious, how does this do on the highway? How does it do on the side roads? What does it feel like in terms of the smoothness? And how does the ADAS system work on this car? So I'm going to give it a little bit of a whirl, take it for a test drive, and let you know what my thoughts are. Here we are in beautiful Colorado at Red Rocks, and at this really cool event here with all these different electric vehicles. But the purpose of this video is for me to drive this Rivian R1T.
This way through, push this button, and voila.
All right. And there's nothing in there now. Oh wait, maybe there is something in there now. But an air compressor. Okay. All right. Very cool. I'm in the Rivian R1T, and a couple of initial sort of thoughts about this vehicle. This is, let me turn gotta figure out how to turn the air down a little bit. Where are you? There we go. Okay, well that was a lot. I'll turn it up just a little. Never been in this vehicle before. Had to figure out how to turn the AC down a little bit. I love the sound of the turn signal. That's the best thing. Amazing. All kidding aside, this car feels, or this truck feels, not like a first generation vehicle from a brand new company from the ground up, but this feels like a proven vehicle, something that has been around for quite a long time. And it hasn't, which is amazing, because it feels very refined. It feels very smooth. I did drive in it last night as a passenger coming in from the airport, and it was very quiet, even at speed. Wind noise was marginal. The tire noise was marginal. And as much as this is a pickup truck, I mean, I've been driving around these little back roads up here and not sort of getting on it too hard, because a lot of people around here, but you know, this feels really nice. I'm liking it a lot. I've got Kyle on my tail in some slouchy Model S plaid pushing me along, but I'm not going to go too fast here. I mean, this is a very comfortable space. The seats are really comfortable. I like this. So that was the twisties. Just an initial first impression. Very solid. Seemingly, let's get on it out here. We're gonna pull out here and see what. Oh yeah, that goes. That definitely goes. That's a lot of horsepower and smooth. Now here comes Kyle pulling up the rear. Oh man, it's like a black flash you see in the rear view mirror. Beautiful country out here, I must say, but the Rivian is really nice. I like it. Suspension, it's a little floaty. I feel like it's doing a little bit of this on the road, which is fine, but it's comfortable. Yeah, that definitely goes. It's got a nice whir to it. Like a spaceship. I like it. You know what, personally, I would love is the R1S. I think that might be the vehicle for if I were going to get one of these. I'm not sure that I have the use case for a pickup at this point in my life, but you know, the car sits up real high. We had it just at this little electric car show, and there was a green one sitting right next to it that I took some video of as well, and he had the off-road tires. These are not the off-road tires. And Kyle had this sitting in the highest ride height, which he said to put it in standard ride height as I was driving home. Interesting that he said don't do that unless the car is moving, which I wouldn't have thought about. But I don't know, for some reason he said it wasn't good for the blocks. I don't know what that means. But yeah, so now we're going to transition over to the highway and get on I-70 East here, and yeah, drives great. Coming up to speed here. Definitely more wind noise than the Model S, without a doubt, no question. But think about it, it's a squared off vehicle. The front of the vehicle, where the headlights are, it's a 90-degree angle, and the windshield rake is very, very steep as well. But nothing to be right home about. Like, it's not unbearable. I mean, let's face it, these vehicles that we're testing here, or I'm not testing, I'm just driving and giving you my impressions. These are some of the best vehicles in the world. I mean, if you want to nitpick a little bit here and there, I do hear quite a bit of wind noise coming from the left outside mirror. I don't know if that's normal, or probably is. But as I'm going down the road, it's definitely floating and wafting. Interior wise, the screen is amazing. The screen itself is quite large, quite responsive in terms of when you're changing things from to. I'm going to leave that alone because there's a lot of new things that are going on there. Let's see, tilt steering wheel. I wonder if it's power. I don't know. You can tell I really don't know what I'm doing here. I just said, Kyle, let me have the keys. I want to. The key fob's pretty cool. It's like a thing you know you can clip on your backpack. It's like we're going mountain climbing with it. It's nice to have a little bed in the back for you know, there's a 4-door pickup truck, so if you're a family, you can take your family on a trip. Personally, for me, I'd rather have the sport utility rather than the pickup truck, but I know Kyle's always hauling tires around and doing things, so it's good to have a pickup truck around. And the side doors for the tunnel, that's pretty cool. Thank you, Alyssa, for showing us how to open those. And I know there's also an air compressor, so if you're going to be going off-road, I had the turn signal on the whole time there. If you're going to be going off-road in sand, for example, you maybe want to let the tires, air out of the tires, but then when you get back on the road, you want to blow them back up, so it's got a compressor, onboard compressor, for you to do that. That's smart. I think that's great. the stereo system. I'm going to check that out. But my understanding is this does not have Apple CarPlay, which I love Apple CarPlay. So I don't know. The glass roof is large. I got a huge amount of headroom above my head. Now I'm 6'5", and there's a tremendous amount of headroom above my head. So it's real good. I can drive Brooklyn style, you know, with my wrist on top of the steering wheel, because unlike the Model S I tested with the yoke, this has got a regular steering wheel. All right, so I'm going to try this Driver Assistance Plus, I think it's called. You know, similar to the Tesla, it's got adaptive cruise, and then it's got the ability to do lane centering. My understanding is it only works on mapped roads. So this road that we're on right now is mapped. So I think you just pull down twice, unavailable in off-road modes. Am I in an off-road mode? I'm not in an off-road mode. Am I? Hold, please. Okay, I was actually in off-road mode somehow. I just put it in all-purpose mode, right? And now I'm going to try this. There we go. Driver assistance. Now, why is that not working? I don't know. Let's see. Let me try it again. You know, it's funny when I'm genuinely trying this, as you can tell, for the first time. I'm not practicing and then showing you. All right, turn signal off. Down, down. There we go. Okay. That's working. It's doing lane keeping, which, you know, years ago, when you had a Tesla, it was the only game in town. There's so many good systems out there today that do a good job of lane centering and adaptive cruise. Now, this is a pretty hairy turn, pretty sharp turn we're on right now. Keep your hands on the wheel. Okay, I will. And it navigated that quite cleanly. Now it just dropped off there on this sharper turn, which I don't know why. Maybe just because it wasn't feeling comfortable. All right, these are some pretty sharp turns right through here. Looks like a golf course over on the left, an amusement park over on the right, some potholes in the road. So let's go ahead and I'm now manually driving the car. But all right, there we go. Now we're back in driver's assistance. Will it do lane changing? Doesn't seem to. All right. Now the speed is locked on, but the steering wheel is not. There we go. Okay. Interesting. So when you push it down one, then you got your adaptive cruise, and push it down 2 times, you got your adaptive cruise and your steering. The thing was that I didn't see the steering wheel blue. It merges the steering and the speed into one little center indicator that says that you're on both adaptive and driver's assist. Passing a big truck here, very confidently, very cleanly. Didn't really scooch over towards the truck. I mean, this is good. Now, I'm going to see what happens when I turn on I'm going to switch lanes here. Oh, okay. It kills the auto steer. And then you have to turn it back on. Very similar to HDA 1 or HDA in the EGMP platform, which I think is fine. I mean, it's nice to have lane changing, and you know, some of the, I mean, if you have the enhanced autopilot feature, or clearly full self-driving's got lane changing, but you could get that with enhanced autopilot, and then also the Kia, Hyundai, Genesis vehicles that have HDA2. I mean, maybe certain markets around the world, the Genesis GV60 has HDA2, but not here in the States. So yeah, I mean, look, I think it's great. Seems to me to be a sort of a three-pronged solution vehicle, multi-pronged. One, very comfortable. Oh, I don't want to miss the turn here. We're going to Fort Collins. And very comfortable. I think I could road trip this car very confidently. I would love to do that. Two, utility. You could haul things around. It's not a huge bed in the back there, but it's big enough that you can haul a lot of stuff. So, you know, if you got to make big Home Depot shopping runs or whatever, a lot of space in the back there. Tires, lumber, whatever it is. Number two is utility. Number three, just getting in the vehicle. You want to go out to dinner. This thing's a looker. Everyone that over at Red Rocks, they were coming up to me and saying, "Hey, nice car, nice car." I'm like, "Yes, it's mine. I love it. I've had it for..." No, I said, this is not my car, but it is a beauty. And you know, so, but just getting in it, it seems like it's an easy vehicle to live with. The ride height is adjustable with an air suspension if you want to make it lower to get a little bit easier to get in and out of. But I would take this car out for a fancy dinner. If Kathy and I were going out for dinner one night, I would say, you know what, let's take this car. The Tesla is harder to get in and out of. It's lower. So, I mean, as a daily driver and as something that you want to get in and drive and it's comfortable, this checks that box. And then, you know, finally, I don't know as much about off-roading capabilities. I know that when Kyle originally took this vehicle off, or this truck off-road, it's got 4 independent motors. And so when you get one wheel on a rock, the computer has to determine, oh, I can't turn that wheel, let me put some power over to this wheel, and it's trying to figure out like where to put the power, as opposed to if you've got a differential and a locking differential that is connecting the 2 wheels together, where you can put power to both wheels at the same time on a traditional vehicle. So I know Kyle was dissatisfied with the 4 motor setup off-road on this vehicle. So I think that he got a software update, and there's a rumor we may be taking this off-road tomorrow. We'll see. Zach seems to want to scare me off-road. I don't know if I'm into that, because I don't know if I trust these guys. But I would like to see what it could do off-road. And also, you know, sort of another category, when I was just driving it up there at Red Rocks on some of the twisties, nothing super crazy and not super fast, but it seemed to handle very well for a pickup truck. And I was quite impressed with that. So it ticks a lot of boxes, this vehicle. And I can see why people are buying this truck. So the screens are great, the tech is great, the interior. I love these green seats. These seats look like they're molded really nicely. I don't know if they're cooled or not. I'd have to ask Kyle. I think they might be. I don't know. But the wood dash is very, very nicely appointed. There is some, I know last night when we were driving home from the airport, there was some nice ambient lighting. It was all a white light, and I asked Kyle if you could change the color. He said no. Okay, you know what? It's fine. It's white. It adds a little bit of a glow. The material choices that they have, beautiful. The floor mats they're kind of like a weave. Really nice material. And yeah, no glove boxes, Alyssa showed earlier, but there's a little space underneath the seat, which is fine. It definitely has a big frunk, which is good. So I think this thing is, I understand why people are buying this vehicle, this truck. I keep saying vehicle. It is a vehicle, but I understand why people are buying this truck. So I like it. Now we're in some stop and go traffic. Time to put on the ADAS system. A couple of things that I like. I've got the Regen set in high, And when I'm cruising down the road in the highway doing, let's say 50 or so, 60, and I just come off, boy, does that bite. I like the Regen in this setting. And interestingly, I was doing one pedal driving in stop and go traffic, and it was very smooth. The calibration of this one pedal driving is very good. Also, when you're parked in the Rivian R1T and you want to move forward, or if you're parked and you want to back out, when you start to give it a little bit, so when you take your foot off the accelerator or off the brake, if you're in reverse or you're in drive, it doesn't creep forward. At least it doesn't in the mode that I was in. And so what's interesting though is it's very smooth when it starts to move. It doesn't have any sort of slamming. So one of the problems in the GV60, when you have that auto hold button on in iPedal, it really slams hard. And I've talked about that. This vehicle has the tuning down much cleaner, much smoother, and I think they've done a very good job with that. All right, verdict on the stereo. It's amazing. It sounds great. I don't even know what I was listening to, but it sounded at volume quite a high volume. It sounded crisp, clear. The bass sounded good. This is a way above average stereo. This sounds amazing. That's I'm impressed with this stereo in this R1T for sure. So one of the things I wanted to do is to get to know the menus a little bit better, and I actually went in and figured out how to change the different modes. There's all-purpose, sport, conserve, off-road, and also towing. And I did try off-road, mistakenly tried it, and then I went into all-purpose. But what I didn't do was go into sport. And I was just talking to Kyle, and he said, you know, Dad, you should really go into sport just to check out how the responses in terms of the suspension and also the acceleration. One of the things I noticed when I went into sport mode is that it changed the ride height from standard to low automatically, and and I know that when Kyle was driving the car earlier, it definitely firmed up the suspension and changed the mappings in terms of the acceleration. And so I say we go for a little bit of a drive here now in sport mode. We're just here at Ed Carroll Porsche Audi Volkswagen in Fort Collins, and we've got something just very, very good people here, great dealership in this town, and kind of want to check out what this vehicle feels like in sport mode. Now, I'm not going up the canyons or anything like that, but I can definitely feel the suspension firmed up. That's one thing that I felt here already. And let's go across here. Here's some railroad tracks. We can give this a shot and just see what it feels like. Oh yeah, you know, it's interesting, when I just went over the railroad tracks there, I got a little bit of bucking because the suspension is firmer, and what I found is that I started to hit the accelerator and I got a lot more bucking. So I think I need to get used to maybe my foot placement, because it's clearly more connected to the responsiveness. Regen feels a little stronger coming to a stop there with sport mode on as well. I do like the hold mode. As I mentioned before, very smooth vehicle in terms of when you start to accelerate out of hold mode, it's very smooth, which I like. Oh, no turn on red. Oh, wait a minute. No turn on red Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 a.m. or 3 to 5 p.m. And since it's not any of those times, and I have a green light, I'm going. So yeah, I don't know if it's me, but I'm feeling like a hesitation in this sport mode. Maybe I just need to, oh yeah, I just need to get into the pedal a little bit more. you know, clearly it feels like a different vehicle. The responsiveness and a lot less roll in the vehicle with the car in the low mode, and I'm definitely feeling the bumps a lot more, which I guess is to be expected. So, well, there you have it. Oh, oh yeah, it's firm, my friends. It's firm. So I just put the car back in all-purpose mode, and it just relaxed. And now I'm going over the same train tracks, smooth. It was calm. It was relaxed. It was like, take your shoes off, put your feet up. It's time to relax. I like this all-purpose mode. Not to say I wouldn't use the sport mode on the right road, but around town, I would say probably not the mode I would be driving in. A little temperamental, a little feisty, if you will. So, yeah, this all-purpose mode it softens the edges. This is the mode. This is the Dave Connor mode. I like this mode, all-purpose mode. Overall, first impressions of this vehicle. I know you've seen a ton of reviews. I'm not really going to add anything much at all, other than the fact that I like it. I like it a lot. I think it's a beautiful vehicle. It's smooth. Kyle, I wish you the best of luck with this truck, and use it in good health. And appreciate all the videos you've been making about it. I've learned a lot about this truck, and yeah. So thanks for watching another episode of Out of Spec Dave. Have a great day. Thanks so much.